them come. This is their fate.
All right. Welcome back to the House of Wolves podcast. I am your under the weather host, Deontay, coming at you again this week with more topics, more news. Unfortunately, you're going to have to bear with me. Might hear me coughing, might hear me sound a little stuffy. Unfortunately, it is what it is, but we're going to go ahead and continue because we got some stuff to talk about, and I actually do want to catch up with my fellas. So, before we get started, per usual, Jalen, Josh, tell the people how you been, what you've been up to, what you've been doing, how's life going, what you've been playing, and let them know exactly how you've been. Talk to the people.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? We ain't talked in a minute. I was trying to catch up with both of y'all over the weekend because I had a little bit more free time, but we didn't link up. One, I know Deontay, you've been busy, always on your home improvement.
Yes, sir.
Moving around. Your time at Home Depot is a lot. Them boys must know you
Know
on
me
a
by my first
basis.
name. Yeah, pretty much.
But for me, I haven't actually been up too much. Been really busy once the week started again. So a couple weeks ago, I went to Tokyo Game Show, and I was in Tokyo for a couple of days. But I'm bringing it up mainly because that kind of messed up my workout schedule.
Oh, okay.
So I've been trying to get back into a routine ever since then, because I was going like 3 times a week right after work. But I don't know, just that Tokyo trip had me like tired and I had no extra energy. But anyways, this week I've been back in the gym, trying to go 3 times a week. And this time I've been just trying to push myself a little bit further, because usually when I work out, I'm a low weight, high rep type of person. But since I'm going after work, I'm gonna try to switch it up this time. See how I feel with doing heavier weights but lower reps. That way, I don't know, just try something different.
Yeah.
So far, so good. I don't know which method I prefer, but I do like not spending too long of a time at the gym, because I still want to come home, have dinner with the family, and relax.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm happy to get back in the gym. And yesterday, I was talking with my coworker about like just how you feel different when you work out regularly. And for me, I guess like I always know that lifting weights and stuff like that makes your body feel better. But I guess I'm personally surprised with how much I think cardio actually impacts just like your everyday life. Because like me, I ride my bike home from work every day, and I feel like I've gotten used to that, so it's not a real big deal. And I thought that, okay, if I'm lifting weights or I'm doing leg presses or stuff like that, I might feel a little bit different. Like, oh, this bike ride is easier than normal. But I didn't notice that until I actually started running on the treadmill for a little bit, or even going out for a jog every now and then. And it's like, oh, well, now I actually I physically feel like I have more energy. And I think that's a big deal for me, at least. Somebody who always is tired, you might need a little more cardio in general. So I feel like I'm gonna try to focus on that more. I'm not gonna be doing marathons, but I might do a jog around the neighborhood to burn off some weight, get my blood pumping, my lungs working. As far as video games, I haven't played anything new. I'm still always taking a look at some older video games that I might not have spent a lot of time with when I was younger. This week I was playing a little bit of Ridge Racer 4, which is another arcade racing game that was really popular back in the day. And I guess kind of is the reason got me interested in arcade racers. because like Gran Turismo has always been like the most popular racing series, and those games are really good. But I always just like those games that have like really good controls and focus on something different. So like Ridge Racer always has like a drifting mechanic that's pretty fun and easy to use, and it's like a quick to set up thing. Some of them even try to have like story modes and stuff in the middle of the in between races and stuff. Um, so I wish there were more uh, unique arcade racers. I know that
Oh,
there's a lot of other genres like Dirt, the Dirt series and stuff like that, but I don't know. I miss weird racing games like Midnight Club, uh, Driver 2, uh, stuff outside of Forza and Gran Turismo, just to
uh,
have a different flavor.
Jalen, no, I played a bunch of that Need for Speed Unbound. That was
Oh
a
yeah, Need for
really,
Speed. Uh-huh.
yeah, that was a really good one. And Jalen kept telling me cut that game up, but I felt like it was actually good with ASAP Rocky. Uh,
That's
he,
his favorite part.
Uh, your
my
boy.
favorite part
ASAP
was
Rocky,
ASAP
which
Rocky.
which which is calling him
It was
Rihanna,
not my favorite part.
Rihanna's baby daddy.
Yeah, Rihanna baby daddy. Yeah, but I mean, he got a name, so let me stop disrespecting that man. He a grown man too. He got kids just like me. So ASAP Rocky was in that one, but overall, him excluded, the game was pretty good and actually pretty challenging and fun arcade style racing. So definitely one
Mhm.
of those ones I go back to a lot, and it's on Game Pass now, I believe. So I've been playing that still.
But yeah, racing games are fun, and Burnout is one that I used to play a lot with my friends, and I know that those series have like they still exist. It's just I don't know. They used to have a lot more impact for me at least, but maybe I just gotta follow the series more closely. But outside of those few classic games I've checked out, I haven't had a lot of time to play anything new. Like I barely touched Metaphor, and I guess that's the next game that I'm actually wanting to put time in. I just gotta actually do it.
Okay. What about you, Jalen? What you been playing? What you been up to? Any that marathon around the corner yet?
Yeah, nah, I got the 10K coming up. That's on November 3rd, so I got to make sure I'm squared away for that. I haven't really been able to practice. I had went to Michigan State homecoming this past weekend. I got Western homecoming coming up, and then I was sick this past week. Or what? I started getting sick Sunday night, and I was sick yesterday. I'm bouncing back today. Um, I'll probably go to the gym either today or tomorrow and try to get a little bit of running in to make sure I'm squared away so I can go out there and do my thing, do my thing, do my thing. With the little 10K. I got to try to beat my time in that regard. Other than that, I mean, I haven't been doing much of anything. I'm trying to think. Jaleel, he gonna come up here and do the 5K. When my friends gonna come up here, Deontay still not gonna come.
Hey man, stop putting me
But
out
yeah,
there like that. Just say we got I got confirmed friends coming and so I'm not. That's all you gotta say. Don't put no
yeah, I
bullet on
gotta tell the
that. Don't
people.
put no name on that bullet, man. Chill out,
I
chill
gotta tell
out,
the people what they want to hear.
chill.
Hey,
Oh
this what y'all want?
man. No,
Yeah, we
no,
want the truth. You heard the people in the background?
no.
We want the
ain't
truth.
nobody
Yeah,
ain't nobody in the background.
talking to the mic. But other than that, I just been playing it like Metaphor. I've been playing a little bit of that. I mean, I haven't made it that far or anything. I still haven't bought the game. I know that Sonic and Shadow Generations come out today. I might get that instead of get a Metaphor. I still ain't did that because ain't the Metaphor demo like 10 hours?
Yeah, it's like 10 hours.
See, I might be able to get the Sonic and Shadow and play some of that and come back later and get Metaphor when it's discounted. Go ahead and give him that $50 for that Sonic and Shadow, boy. What you know about this Sonic, boy?
Man,
Yeah,
you and
I saw I got
Sonic is
a
crazy. They said it
decent
got a pretty
review.
good some. Yeah, it did get decent reviews.
Yeah, it's Sonic. What you thought? You think it ain't? No, just
First off, stop
nah,
it.
but I do want to
'Cause
get that.
it falls right in that category of bad Namco games. Sometimes. Sonic
Man,
used to
yeah,
be up
right.
there. It used to be up there until
Man, you
we
see
got
Bandai
Sonic
Namco, them
Unleashed.
games on average.
Then we got some that Sonic Boom Rise of Lyrics trash, and then it was something else that drug kept falling down. All the 3D ones kept falling down. So yeah,
Man, that's only
this a
because people
decent one.
want Sonic. People want 2D Sonic, but Sonic fan is just a divisive community. They want Sonic Adventure 2. Again, they want side-scrolling Sonic. They can't make up their mind. I'm not gonna say Sonic games are like the best games ever, but some of the games don't deserve what they want, and then Sega just don't know how to design a good Sonic game because they just confused. So look at Mr. Yuji Naka. But anywho, but no, I mean Sonic Generations. If they using that base formula, I mean, I fight the game straight. I ain't gonna say their games be magnificent and stuff like that, but they be solid and more solid than a lot of them Namco Bandai games. I'm tired of them arena fighters with the only one punch button and show offy combos.
Yeah, Spartan
Man.
Zero on your top right now. They already calling that masterpiece. So you might want to put a little
Man, they only
respect on
say that
them.
because
Respect
of
on
the hype.
them. You already put a little
They just saying
respect
that
on
because
that
of the
name.
that game sold a lot, and people already capping saying it's better than Fighters, and that this the game they've been waiting for.
They just saying that because they want another Tenkaichi, bro. It's just Dragon Ball Z fans, man, toxic.
So you don't think it's up to the hype?
No,
You don't think it lived
I
up?
think it's probably. I haven't played it, so I can't really speak on it. But I don't think it's all that what people make it seem like. Most people I've been seeing talking about is the people that like Dragon Ball Z or that like Tenkaichi.
I was looking it up, and half those characters all got the same like supers.
Really?
Same animations. I mean, it's like it's over 100 characters in the game. So anybody that does like a Kamehameha, they all do the same. I mean, it's the Kamehameha, but it looks the same. It's just maybe the camera angle is slightly different. And when of course, you have a game like Fighters where the roster is smaller. You know how unique they supers used to be. It's like we're gonna take this exact moment from the show, recreate it perfectly, and make it look good. And that's what I liked about it. Like everybody felt unique, whereas like you got over 100 characters. A lot of people are literally just copies of each other.
And you got people that ain't had no screen time.
Yeah, they got Rebran and the crew in there for no reason, but you
They
can
got
play as them.
Frieza soldiers.
Even all got the like Rebran and I don't know the green cat girl name. They literally got the same super. Like it literally because it's a team attack, and so it just shows team attack with the one person, and then the same thing just when you use it as the other character. Same thing I think with the Ginyu Force as well. Like not like the whole Ginyu Force, but like Jace and Barter, they got the same super because it's a team attack, but it just
That
shows
purple comet.
Yeah.
Sound like y'all checking up on it, man. Y'all might as well go ahead and cop. The way you talking sound like you got a lot of research. You sound like you got some research.
I'd rather play Xenoverse with Jalen, right?
Oh my goodness.
Jalen gay.
Xenoverse, man. Don't get me started on that one. Him, that one and Kakarot. He played the. I don't know if I think he liked Kakarot more than Xenoverse.
Yeah, I was about to say I played Kakarot. Josh was playing Xenoverse more than anybody.
Josh bought it twice. He bought it on PlayStation and on Switch. I said, I know you ain't buying it on Switch. Oh no,
yeah.
Still 2 copies, man. Just take it as a badge.
You bought it twice?
Yeah, he bought it twice.
Yeah, because I bought it from GameStop. I kept it for a couple days to see if I even like it. I was like, okay, this is decent, and I took it back, and I got the Switch version so I could play it at work, and I beat it. So,
hey, see?
Yeah, I never beat Xenoverse.
You gotta embrace it, just like I bought Just Cause so many times. You gotta embrace your nah, just y'all ain't you ain't like me, but
I mean, I didn't play PvP, but it was a fun single player experience.
Yeah, it was interesting to say the least. I enjoyed it.
Super Saiyan Bardock.
Well, I don't know. The verdict is still out on all 3 of those games. Sonic Generations, because I never played Sonic Generations, and they said that this is probably definitively now the best way to play Sonic Generations with the added on shadow stuff. But obviously, um, it wasn't on my radar at the beginning, so it probably still gonna be on that. Maybe if I could catch a buy 3 get 1 free, maybe, but I don't know. So it'd be like more Metaphor and then Spark and Zero. So those be the 3 that I might end up getting.
Yeah, I'll admit, for me, Sonic, I'm literally just gonna get it just for the nostalgia of it, because I don't really care about new Sonic games, because I feel like I got my fill with the games I grew up with. But like this one is just specifically like we haven't got any real like interesting shadow content in a long time, and it's going back to the best eras of Sonic, with Sonic Generation, uh and Sonic Adventure and stuff. So I'll play it for the nostalgia. It's probably a good game, but I don't think I'm going to be checking out for like brand new Sonic games like I used to be.
Yeah.
Maybe Sonic Mania 2, but like even then, I kind of feel like Sonic Mania 1 was like really good, and I kind of don't. I'm not looking for more.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, at least they have. At least there's some. The narrative that there is no games to play, it should be killed. It's not that anymore. It's literally about time and about people not wanting to spend their time on games. But there's plenty of stuff to literally play now, which is always great, regardless of your genre or whatever. So, but okay. Hold on, let me take a sip of water. And let's talk about what I've been doing. So, over the last 2 days, not 3 days, last 3 days, I've been playing a few games, trying to get comfortable. I got my whole little setup down and complete somewhat to where I can be functional, but it's not like complete. And again, stay tuned for that video once you can see my little transformation of my office space. But what I did end up playing was a few things we want to talk about, like Berserker. I think it's called like Khazan or something. I forget the name of it. The first Berserker, Khazan First Berserker, and then there is the other games I played. Interesting enough, I got back into Forza Motorsport. Been playing a few of those events and kind of going through the emotions of the practicing and all that good jazz. And then I was playing Blind Fire, which is another one of those Xbox partner preview games that we're going to be talking about here soon. But been playing a few of those, but mainly for the last 2 days, I've been working on renovating, and that's what Josh was talking about earlier, renovating a bathroom for my wife. So fully, kind of, I wasn't supposed to do that. It's always a funny story with me. I wasn't supposed to do everything. I was just simply supposed to change out a vanity. I went in there early in the morning, said, hey, I'm going to switch out this vanity because my wife is the one that was currently there was kind of old and almost too loose to the point where it felt uncomfortable to use. And I was like, okay, we really need to replace this. So that's when I bought the vanity. And I got it for a good deal and stuff like that. But once I got in there and got the other one taken out, I was like, man, if I'm going to do this, I might as well take the toilet out. I might as well put the floors down. I might as well put the new fixture up. I might as well paint the walls. And then it became this whole project and of me refacing the cabinets that we have in their bathroom, refacing the repainting the walls, and just doing a bunch of stuff that I wasn't supposed to do. Hanging a new mirror because we had to get rid of an older one. Anyways, turned it from a quick fix vanity thing to like a full-fledged project for the whole day. That kind of took away a lot of my time to kind of do anything. Like I said, I wanted to play Metaphor and stuff like that. But again, my brain works in a very weird way where it literally cannot allow me to just do one thing that if everything else doesn't match it, that's the only time it makes a problem for me. It's like you can't fix this and not fix everything else that you got sitting up in here. If you're going to fix it, then fix it. So it's kind of like a full-fledged thing, and it helped me in my career, helps me grow as a businessman, but it does not help me when I ain't got that much time and I feel like doing something. So it's very interesting, but I just wanted to share that sometimes it can be being overproductive can be a problem because now my entire body is sore. I wasn't able to do I got sick as well, which kind of made me mad, but I'm super sore, tired because I didn't get much sleep. I woke up at 6 a.m. and went to sleep at 2 a.m. and then the next day I woke up at 6 again and kind of stayed up until like I don't know, like 11 p.m. Super sore because I was moving the toilet and I don't work out that often, at least not to the degree that I should be. And it's kind of like, yeah, I was super productive for that day. I did a lot of stuff, but it kind of put a hamper on the household because, my wife has to take the slack for me doing my whatever that was. And then what the point I'm trying to get to is pacing. Pace yourself sometimes. You don't need to like full throttle through everything all the time. Progress is relative. You don't need to feel like the job is complete to feel like you've done something progressive or progressed a situation. And it could help you to slow down. And I think that it's one of those things I'm kind of learning as I continue to grow because I don't slow down that often. And most of the time I'm trying to keep myself busy, which is, like I said, it can be a good thing. But at the same time, I feel like we all kind of have this different mindset when we go out in the world about competitiveness, being an entrepreneur, being a businessman, being someone that is of caliber or whatever you want to call it, someone of the world, someone that is a productive citizen in society, whatever that may be to you. I just think that, kind of I got to preach that and kind of think it. You got to give yourself some grace. If you accomplished a lot, you can kind of accept that and kind of slow down and pace yourself. But obviously, we're in a different type of space right now where we're earlier off in our adulthoods. I still feel like I'm early off in my adulthood, even though I'm 30. And it still feels as if I am lacking the knowledge and the abilities that will take me to the next level. So it's kind of like, okay, how do I continue to progress that? How do I keep moving forward with that? And I was sitting there sore as hell, and I was kind of thinking to myself, I was like, okay, yeah, you accomplished something, but how beneficial was it? What was the true benefit of you accomplishing that today, this time, in this time frame? But anyways, as like I said, I say all that to say, pace yourself, kind of have goals, have a mindset of achieving them, but you kind of got to give yourself a little bit of a time in between that. You don't want to kill yourself trying to accomplish things that when time is like the kind of like the most important thing. It just feels like I'm contradicting myself, but I'm not. I'm trying to state it in a way that where I value the time, but I also value the pace. I value that my accomplishments, and I value like the things that I'm accomplishing between that. So I need to focus on that too, instead of just trying to get that end goal, because it just feels like you're kind of moving at you're just in a rat race essentially. So anyways, didn't want to get too philosophical, too deep, but I do that sometimes. So if you're a fan of the pod, sometimes we have interesting conversations like that versus just gaming. So, anyways, the best thing I did outside of had a I had a mental breakthrough was I played First Berserker, and that's kind of I'm not going to start there because this is kind of like still my intro, but this is where I'm going to stop talking about myself and talk about the games. First Berserker, at least to me, um, I keep saying First Berserker, but it's that Khazan game. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's from it's the DNF Duel team, right, Josh? The universe or
Yep.
whatever. Overall,
Dungeon Fighter Online, I think.
yeah. Overall, the mechanics feel really good. So they're creating essentially a Souls-like game. Um, Mechanically, it feels really good. Deaths seem super unpunishing because simply enough, there is no load time between you dying and being able to start again. So the boss fight was super fun. It was just engaging because it wasn't a pain to get back to it. Obviously, there's shortcuts. There is opportunities to kind of make your path easier, running past enemies, things like that. So it just had I have never played an animation type based game like that and felt as if it had nailed the Souls like feel yet until I played this game. So I'm very high praising this game because it does feel really good. The storyline, he don't talk much, which is great because sometimes it is great to just have a non-speaking character where you're just letting the environment do all the talking, letting the world building do all the talking, and it feels good to kind of see that in a different way. Um, Graphically, it looks amazing. I love the animation built, but real graphics kind of background. Like the contrast was really really
It's
cool to me.
anime, but very
Yeah,
realistic looking.
yeah, yeah. It feels really really. It is authentic. It feels different. So, I really really liked it. I think that if you guys were able to try it, I think you'll enjoy it too. It was
I
only a
played
slice of it. Oh, go ahead.
I played it a bit at Tokyo Game Show,
Hmm.
and I liked it as well. It was in the like level design, it's going for a soul style, but overall, I felt the game for me was more like leans more of like Neo because
Mm.
not not like the samurai or like the stealth stuff, but as far as like the flashy combos, you got jump like jumping attacks,
Yeah.
you can stun enemies and hit them with a triple slash or stuff like that. So you're doing a lot of flashy combos, but the difficulty is high, and the level design is more Souls like, obviously.
Hmm.
So it for me, it was somewhere in between there, like in between a Neo and I guess even like a Wulong that we played. But I like it more. I like the art style more, the animations, and overall, it felt like a very well polished game. Whereas like
Yes.
some of the other like Tecmo Koei Souls like games feel kind of rushed or cheaper than I would like.
Yeah. No, I think that was it was definitely one of those things where I could feel the polish of it. I could feel the genuine care for the character, the world, the design of each enemy, why you're doing what you're doing. It just felt good to play. I don't know why, but it just felt like it oozed um polished developers because it just felt good. And again, it's only a small slice of it. I was able to play like the first area and then beat the first boss, and then they opened me up to a secondary area yet, and I haven't kind of. I don't even know if I could talk about this, but whatever. That the secondary area is I haven't gotten to explore all of it yet, but it is like one of those things where you get armor, you have different class types, and as you were stating, Neo-esque, where it has like rarity set, not like in Souls likes where it's not a rarity to it, but they have rarities of like white, blue, purple, probably some orange in there at some point. So definitely one of those things that I just want to keep going back. I kept going back to play, um, and got very comfortable and familiar again with my Steam Deck and using remote play and all that good jazz. And it's working a lot better than it used to after I upgraded to the new remote play function. I think it's green light. Anyways, I have been enjoying playing through that a little bit. So definitely one of those ones I'm going to keep an eye on because I think I could definitely. It's in the same vein as Liza P for me, where I knew it was a great game. I just didn't have the time. And even now that it's on Game Pass, Liza P I still ain't had the time to play it. But it's one of those things I want to keep my eye on, and definitely caught my attention in a great way. So, are y'all a fan of those attempts, or do you feel like they it's getting a little crowded? Because remember we were talking about this before when we were talking about how Souls-like has become like the new go-to genre in regards to like take a different type of world, put it in this type of gameplay style, and call it a day. Like even Stellar Blade was a little bit like that. Do y'all feel like that genre is evolving, or do you feel like it's just being diluted into a worse version of itself?
Personally, I feel like the Souls like name or like tag is just popular because that's what people
Uh-huh.
like. But most of the games are not actually Souls like. And I don't mean it as like a purist or anything like that, but like I remember back in the day where Zelda was like the go-to um action game like template. Every game played like a Zelda game
Right.
because that was like the best example of that type of gameplay. And so now that we have the Souls games where it's a little more complex than what Zelda used to be, and people like it, they use it as a template, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
actually fully developed like a Dark Souls game. Like they don't actually want to make a Dark Souls game. We just want to have a game where you're slow and you can parry, and when you die, you got to pick up your stuff. So they take small mechanics from it and use it. So I think that works because those mechanics are interesting on a fundamental level. So they should be able to work in any type of game. But overall, everything that makes a Souls game, a lot of studios don't have that type of ability to do it, or they don't want
Mm-hmm.
to make that type of game. That being
Right.
said, the few that are actually trying to be Souls games, like Liza P, I think a lot of people praise it, and it's like a very good example of that because it wants to be in that genre. So I like those attempts more than like the games that just want to use some of the mechanics, and but we going, it's a platformer with Souls mechanics.
Right.
Personally, I don't like those attempts, but yeah. What
Okay.
about you, Jalen? I know you ready to play Mortal Shell.
Uh, yeah, I gotta clear my throat to like Beyonce. I'm not like the biggest fan of them. Um, I think it's cool that like developers are trying to tap into it because, like you said, it's not something that's like a quote unquote new genre. It's just kind of like a slower paced game. Like parrying and stuff like that, like big bosses and things. I don't really. I think the only thing I said I don't like when games don't do it well. When it's like a clear imitation and they didn't really have like a lot of inspiration. I don't really have any games like that. I mean, maybe Deontay could tell us a little bit about like Surge and stuff like that because I think you beat the first and second one, right?
Yeah, Surge, Cobain. Surge was to
Wars of the
me,
Fallen.
Lords of the Fallen. I did play that one. I feel like there's always like a a thing in each of them that they try to make themselves stand out differently. And honestly, um, I have never been a fan of that type of gameplay in a world that's not meant to be environmentally explored. And I think that that was always the key for me. It was that you can try to tell a good story in this world type. I just don't find the world itself to be the motivating factor to keep going. When in every Souls-like game I've ever enjoyed, most of the time I'm building my own story. Like I don't pay attention to that, and the gameplay is still on its own. I feel like most of the time they gravitate to trying to make the gameplay look close to this, and they try to add story elements to make it funner or more engaging to play, but it never turns out right for me. It always turns out to the point where it just feels like a lackluster experience to what a true Souls like would be. Or simply enough, I'm always thinking from software and their worlds and how they build worlds and how they always make it fun, and they don't got to say much, and it's just fun. It's just fun to explore. So I think that that is what kind of always gets me. The Surge was probably the better one because they did the same thing. They literally made the world fun to explore. They didn't talk much. They didn't try to put a good story. They literally made the gameplay the standing feature, and then the world was what you made of it by exploring. Now there was a lot of cheeky and weird things that they tried to do in the game that made it just not cringy, but like just borderline unbearable at sometimes. But I felt like it was unique enough and different enough to stand on its own. That's probably why I got a sequel. So
Yeah,
that was one of those ones that I felt like did do it okay.
yeah.
But then
I
there's Neo too. So
I haven't played many of them. I think I played Liza P and I played Lord to the Fall, and I feel like I played another one or was kind of tempted to it, but I was like turned off by it, so I didn't make it far. I think Liza P did a pretty good job. It's a little clunky at times. I mean, Dark Souls a little clunky, but I mean that game, I feel like it was just a little bit more clunkier. But not to say that it wasn't good. But yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I mean, I do get a little tired of, especially like you said, when they don't do it the right way, and they're like, it's like a clear imitation, but you're like, hey, we're just gonna try to put like a different world and kind of reskin some things, and it just doesn't like pan out right. So, I would just prefer if a game tried to do its own thing and just made it. You know what I'm saying? You can take elements from it, but you know, you don't have to just. I ain't gonna say rip it off because I ain't gonna say that's their clear intention, but make like a replica. So.
yeah, it's tough to kind of it's tough to be compared. Period. It's anything with like Saints Row coming out with GTA, Saints Row 1 and 2 were probably the more fun and enjoyable because they were trying to be unique and different enough. And then they kind of started going back into realism, and they started to try to make the world less quirky and more like, I don't know, realistic in a way. Because Saints Row the Third was still kind of went back to its roots, and it was kind of still a good entry. But there was that golden age of 1 and 2 where you were literally doing false insurance claims and all this weird stuff in the world that you couldn't do elsewhere, that made it stand out and be unique to itself in the sandbox. So it's always a way to imitate but also stand alone. There's always ways to take a genre and not and have it your own footing. I think that there's just a good way to do it and a bad way to do it. But I do feel like this era of From Software has birthed more than I expected it would. And And maybe I'm counting too many of these ones that just have a mechanic or something particular that I kind of see a vein of Souls like games that I shouldn't be counting to, and I'm over exaggerating the number. But it does feel like there is a formula, at least, for these types, and it's either hit or miss depending on whether or not you whether or not it's received well. I guess it's just kind of like one of those things like Wukong is not a Souls like, but for some reason it was categorized as that for a long time until it came out and everybody was like, nah, it's kind of more like God of War. But I think just
Yeah,
those
I think
big
that
boss fights, yeah,
Soulslike is gonna get you a lot of like hype and attention, and I think that's what I was kind of saying earlier is that a lot of people will will take one mechanic and then call themselves a Soulslike for the hype, but in truth, there's only very few games that are actually Souls that are actually trying to be Souls games.
yeah,
I think in the beginning, a lot of people tried to copy Dark Souls. It didn't work, so they just start taking small mechanics instead of trying to copy the whole game. Um,
yeah. It's really that loop, shortcuts, depth, and it's really I feel like there's that loop of the boss art being hard, having uh no real like having stats to kind of upgrade, and it's different. I feel like it's just an RPG, but um sometimes they kind of get brushed up into that whole idea of it being a something more than what it is truly. So um yeah, overall though, definitely one of those good games that I feel like definitely should be on people's radar. Didn't want to talk about it too much, but definitely the First Berserker. It seems that to be shaping up to be a great game to play. So keep it on your radars for sure if you're interested in those types of games. I do feel like it's hitting all the right notes, regardless of where it may fall. So um okay, well let's move on. Um let's talk about the Xbox showcase. Um, there was a lot that showed. You guys never saw it, so I'm gonna just grade it myself and kind of keep it pushing and talk through like some of the highlights. Um, for me, when I was watching it, and I watched it as soon as I always do that. But I watched it live, and I came out of it feeling like that was a solid B plus. And it's only because there wasn't really no filler. There was no need for nobody to talk. There was a lot of just gameplay being shown, even though it's kind of like in-game engine and in-game footage. It wasn't really telling us what it was running on. I felt like their approach to the partner preview actually had some valuable gets in it, and they also had things that were pretty cool um, that I thought was like definitely be worthy to talk about today. So to me, I would give it a solid B, maybe a B plus, but a solid B for sure. There was a few things that came out immediately. I still ain't played Animal Well. That was one of the bigger games that I wanted to, not bigger indie games that I wanted to try last year. Or did it come out this year? I think Animal Well came
I
out
think it was
last year.
earlier this year.
Okay. Well, I wanted to try Animal Well. It was on the Steam Deck. I was supposed to try it. It's now out on Xbox as well, and that was same day availability. Same thing with Blind Fire. There's a new FPS shooter. Um, Conceptually, I like it a lot. It's basically what you do in this game is that everybody is in the dark. Um, you can't really see where you're go. You can see where you're going, but you can't see who's in front of you. You can't see. You can see your sorry, your team. But friendly fire is on. And you can also like set off traps to kind of start turn on lights or be able to visualize or see someone. I believe if you start reloading loudly or if you move quickly, you can be spotted as well. But essentially, the game is all about fighting and playing like it's like Call of Duty in the dark, which I found pretty fun actually. I thought it was enjoyable. It just had little to no meat on its bones. It's like one mode, two modes, I believe. And after a while, the gimmick kind of wore off. I think it'd be hysterical to play with friends because it's just like it's a lot of stuff you can do in it, and like coming down to the last man to try to take down the whole other team and being able to play off of the elements and kind of win back the fight or whatever. I feel like there's a lot of like cool mechanics in it that allows you to be the hero of the day often. But it's also one of those things where you can have really good coordination and kind of go through and kill a lot of people too. So it is it's gonna live and die if people want to play it. From what I was seeing online, a lot of people weren't interested. Reviews were already coming out, and everybody kept just saying the same thing. Nobody can find no lobbies, and I'm like, this is day one. Of course, you're not gonna find no lobbies yet. You gotta wait for people to actually get off and play it. This is a partner preview, dude. Come on, ain't nobody watching all of these. It's an Xbox partner preview at that. But after a while, people were getting on. I was able to find matches, and after that point, people were just kind of going in and stating the same thing, which is that it cool concept, not enough meat on the bones. Cool concept, not enough to do. There's not much here. Gimmick wears off too quickly, stuff like that. So, but it's cool. I think that you guys should probably check it out if you want. I think that I don't want to dismiss creativity because that is what we lacking in this world today. A lot of creativity, a lot of creative people are dead and gone. And then we just got people that rather just stick to the status quo. So, I would much rather support a creative team than a team that's just going to do the same thing over and over again. So Blind Fire, I think is $20 right now if you want to buy the early access. But if you want to just try the free trial for an hour, you can do that as well to check it out. Yeah, support the team if you want to. But for me, I thought it was pretty cool as a concept. I thought that there's a lot that they could play with here that I think will be enjoyable for a lot of people. So, any thoughts on Blind Fire?
No, I never heard of it before today, and I was looking it up. I was like, was this Destiny? But no, listen to how you explain it, and it's like it's an interesting concept, but I think, like you said, with the new ideas for people's patience for like new ideas or quote unquote gimmicks is kind of short. They would unfortunately rather play something more comfortable. It's like, okay, this is comparable to what I expect from like Call of Duty style game, and so I'm gonna stick with it because it's meeting my expectations instead of doing something new that I wasn't expecting. That being said, I think it can find an audience. It might not be a huge hit, but as long as it can find a good sized audience that can keep the game healthy, it could grow into a franchise. It's just, yeah, if people give up too quickly on it, then we won't ever get any new shooters.
Right.
Or unique shooters at least. But I don't know. If I play it, that depends on if we all got time. Personally, I'm not looking for a first person shooter to play by myself.
Okay.
But I don't know. What about y'all? You ready to jump in?
No, not ready to jump in per se, but I thought it was cool to see at least that somebody was trying to do something different. I mean, that's all. I'm still gonna probably play Call of Duty. I'm still tried it out because I wanted to see what it was like conceptually, and I think that they could definitely grow it in a good way if they continue to make good tweaks. But it's just way too shallow at this point to kind of really convince anybody to jump in with me. So I won't waste my time. But at least they're trying something different. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Okay, so what about anything? Did y'all see anything from it? I guess that's my first question. If you didn't, I can go down like some of the highlights.
No, I don't think I've seen anything from the Xbox showcase.
Oh man, it might have been a swing and a miss then, huh? Well, there's a few things that really stood out to me. Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. It is it looked like Wukong, but I don't know how long it's been in development. Um, but the battles seem more my speed, if that makes sense. Like the artistic style of it and the combat arenas seemed super cool. Like they were playing a lot more with verticality, but honestly, Wukong was as well. I just feel like this one caught my eye a lot more. I don't know why. But anyways, when I was watching the trailer, when I was watching through everything, it kind of gave me similar vibes. But I just felt like they had some really cool and unique bosses that I wanted to fight. So, not really like no big wolf or no big monkey or something. It was kind of like actual humans. They were just deformed in a way or extended, elongated or something like that. It just feels like more my type of fights, I would say. I don't know. Anyways, what I'm trying to get to is that it showed well. It definitely looks like a higher end experience, basically kind of on the same vein as Wukong. I'm hoping that it doesn't run as bad as Wukong, but this is also coming to Game Pass day one, so definitely an
What was the name
opportunity.
of the game?
Wu Chang, Wuchang, Fallen Feathers.
Oh, okay, that's the the lady on the cover.
Yeah, the
I think you
Chinese.
probably could play as a different character, but yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it does look good. It does actually seem like this like a legitimate AAA game, another AAA game coming out of a China studio. So they're definitely it's interesting. I like it. I like it a lot. So I'm definitely gonna try it. Um, I might end up trying Wukong soon if it's like once it gets like $30. But honestly, I don't know. The game runs pretty poorly on everything except for PC, and then on PC it's kind of like not the greatest either. So I may just wait and see a little bit longer on that one because this doesn't come out. Wu Chang doesn't come out till like 2025 anyway, so I still got time. It depends on when this comes out, whether or not I end up playing Wukong first to kind of give a good comparison at launch. So we will see. Any thoughts on Wu Chang?
Uh, no, not really, because I remember that game. Like I didn't remember the name, but I remember seeing that game a couple months ago. I think it maybe an Xbox event or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
or it might even been PlayStation, because that same event had Wukong. It had that game. It had another like Chinese action game, and so they kind of all blur together. But that being said, I'm interested in seeing them because I don't think they're all going to be the exact same game. It's just unfortunate, like if you're going to play a melee fighter, I mean a melee action game where you fight in like deformed Chinese dragons and demons, that kind of all blends together because there are a lot of
Yeah.
those. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's still fun. I hope that they can actually differentiate themselves from each other
Hmm.
in a meaningful way. Because if not, then people will just be like, oh well, just play Wukong is better, or just play this. Instead of giving those games a chance, because I don't think that they all are copying each other.
Okay. Well, yeah, definitely that's exactly why I want to play Wukong and this one. I don't want to just dismiss that one as if this is the better, superior game or something like that. But they are in the same vein. But
Mhm.
I'm just more interested in this one, and probably because maybe it's human and not a monkey. But I don't think that really matters to me. I just think that I'm just more intrigued by this one than another one. Um, but okay, let's talk the next highlight for me. Alan Wake 2, The Lake House. I am literally probably going to buy this expansion soon, stream it to my TV, and play it in the dark soon. It came out today, but it's the Lake House. Um, and it looks anything Alan Wake at this point, they got me. I already bought the game. It's on Epic. They probably got a sale going on right now for the DLC, and I'm probably gonna pick it up sooner than later because I probably want to get into the Halloween spirit around next weekend or probably Friday of next week to play through something, and that might be it. I was playing Dead Space a little bit, and I just love, and that's why I want to talk about sound design. But anyways, we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But the Lake House, it looked really good. I don't remember the lady's name, but she's the same. Um, she is the same person that
Okay.
was in Star Wars Battlefront 2 as the woman. I don't know the actor. What's her name?
Uh, the she's
She was in,
I don't know her
yeah,
ethnicity. She looks
yeah.
black or Latino.
She was like Afro Latina or something like that, I think.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, she's coming in to reprise a role at the Lake House, and I think that it's cool to kind of have a different story to be able to be told in the Alan Wake universe, and that's what I want to kind of see. So I really want to play it. I am going to play it. I'm probably going to play it before the month is up. It's just a point of getting it set up, getting it streamed to my TV so I can enjoy it with the good sound. Uh, but overall, yeah, I really think that this was a cool get. They were able to get the date. It came out very soon. This is stuff that is very um, relevant and on par with the time. So I really did like their pacing of this and how they were putting out meaningful drops to talk about during this showcase. It wasn't felt like anything was like misplaced, I guess. Um, but yeah, any thoughts on the Alan Wake 2 expansion? I don't even know. Have you guys played Alan Wake 1 or 2 yet?
I played one. I haven't played two yet. It's on my list of games, but there's just so much that came out. I haven't been able to get to it.
Yeah, time is crazy. That's for sure. Definitely one of my favorite games. What about you? I'm assuming you didn't either, Jalen, but I didn't let you speak.
Yeah, which one is something? Go ahead, tell me.
I want to assume you play games while you doing a game podcast, but I don't know. So I just had to
I don't
figure
know.
you
Every
out.
now and then, Jalen plays spooky games. Like,
Yeah, he
what, you playing?
surprised
You
me.
No,
playing
man,
this?
He surprised me every
I'm
now
the
and
biggest
then.
scaredy cat in the nation.
Nah,
You play no
man.
spooky game.
Yeah,
Then you
well,
play BioShock?
I thought he
No,
did. He played something scary. I remember him playing something. Did he play
I
Resident
play
Evil?
what?
Did he play Resident Evil?
No, no.
Man. Damn, man, that's crazy. All right, well, the spooky games are upon us, man. Silent Hill 2, we got the Alan Wake 2 Lake House DLC. We got another one coming out. I just feel like I don't see how y'all don't like. I mean, I know you do, but I don't see how you don't like horror games. They are like a legit, very strong genre in the gaming community, and they actually do well. So I'm surprised that
I
none of them
mean,
caught
I
your
think a
eye.
lot of people didn't like them because one, it's scary or like, it's like weird vibes. But two, a lot of them didn't have good gameplay. I feel like
Uh,
recently Alan Wake and Dead Space and stuff like and Resident Evil all have good gameplay on top of it being like an interesting like setting. But
well, Xbox
yeah,
360 days, 2013 ish. I mean, when did
I
the
mean,
2008 was Dead Space? So I'm thinking like Resident Evil 4. I'm thinking Dead Space. I'm thinking like when those games originally
Resident Evil
came out.
4.
I thought came out pretty critically acclaimed. I thought.
No, I mean, yes, but there are a lot of trash horror games on the 360 and the PS3. Like
Oh
not
It's
yeah,
just a
everything
steady game.
was Resident Evil. Like Dead Space is a copied Resident Evil, but that was like a rarity where it actually played good. Like all the other Resident Evil 4 clones suck.
did y'all play? Did you ever play Condemned: Criminal Origins or the
Yeah,
second one?
Condemned suck.
No, it didn't. Oh my goodness, I love that game. What you talking about?
Ooh,
It was funny.
ooh.
That game did not suck, dog. I played both of them. I went and caught the second one when I beat this first one. I was like, man, this ain't fun. Like I said, uh I was into horror games when I was a kid. That was one of my things, um but yeah, that was not a bad game. First off, Josh, you don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, I just didn't like melee first person
Yeah.
games,
No,
and
the
yeah.
melee was funny. You had that wood plank. Well, yeah, I remember when you first I forget when you first started where you was at. But man, I gotta pop that back on and play it a little bit. But yeah, I know that there were, trash, but I felt like there was so many good ones out there that he probably would have touched one. Like I'm not talking PS2 Silent Hill games. Like nah, I wouldn't even have. I like those games for all the wrong reasons. I thought they were funny because we were moments and experience I was having with them. It wasn't like there were games that I was like, oh, this is super super cool. Like I'd rather play a zombie game or something. But when I got to Resident Evil 4, where the gameplay matched the scariness, oh, that was it for me. Ever since then, it was like Evil Within 2, everything. So it's always those types of games though. Like it has to have good gameplay too. So I get what you're saying there. I was not playing Resident Evil 1, period. So but yeah, okay. Let's move on. Speaking of spooky, another one of those favorites for me, Blooper Team. They are coming out with their own game called Chronos: The New Dawn. Now, there wasn't much to talk
Mm,
about in regards to like uh, it wasn't much there, but it felt like it had Dead Space vibes, it had Resident Evil vibes, it had that over the shoulder camera, like Dead Space and Resident Evil 4. So overall, I felt like it was really one of those good showings, but it was another spooky game. Um, and if you want to check it out, check it out. I think overall, I just was very impressed by the graphics, and I was impressed by them even showing. It's like they really didn't show anything like super super cool. It was just more so like the atmospheric stuff. And I believe this is the team that also did um which I'm playing through right now, but I can't really think of the name. Shoot. I don't remember. Soma? No, Soma. I thought they did Soma. I don't know. Let me double check that.
I think yeah, they had another indie horror game that they did. It might have been Soma or something similar.
Blooper Team games. The Medium, which you hated. A lot of people hate it. Blair Witch, Layers of Fear, which I thought Layers of Fear was pretty decent. I didn't play that one, but I heard a lot of good things about Layers of Fear. Um, but they just did the Silent Hill 2 as well. So again, they have history with these types of games, and I feel like I could have sworn they worked on Soma, but maybe not. Um, but overall, I really do like atmospheric, cool companies like this that know what they're doing. So another one of those things where it's on my radar. This was a very different type of game, but very interesting to look at. It was mouse PI for hire. It was kind of in that Cuphead, and that's one of Jalen actually enjoys Cuphead, which surprised me because of how. I guess you like platforms, so it's not a big surprise. But anyways, Mouse PI for hire. It has that same cartoony stylistic drawn animation, but it's a first-person shooter, and you're a PI. It's like straight out of like the old. Looks like Mickey Mouse, basically cartoons, but it is animated and well done to the point where it feels like it'd be a great experience to kind of have. Just overall, like it looks really, really cool. So that was one of those ones that stood out to me as in something to just keep my eye on. I really like those creative and unique experiences, and I think that one's a clear winner when it comes to unique creative experiences. Any thoughts on Mouse PI for hire? Mickey Mouse with a blick? Anybody?
Personally, no. I'm not a fan of old Mickey Mouse looking stuff. The only stuff that I do enjoy is like maybe I might watch a Tom and Jerry now and then, but I'm not really into that. But I think it's cool to have a expressive art style when you have a first person shooter, so it's not just just a generic first person game
experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty then. Well, there's nothing else. We can keep it pushing. Subnautica 2 was announced, or at least they had another trailer. I thought it was already announced. It's coming to Game Pass. I'm not that interested in Subnautica. Any thoughts or any thing you want to add to Subnautica? Did anybody even play that?
I thought you like horror games. I thought about playing it. I don't want a horror game where you're swimming, because it's a experience that I don't want to imagine myself in. But
Honestly, I did not know it was a horror game. Just didn't know that at all. Like you
yeah, I
just
think
taught
it
me
has a
something.
lot of crafting elements to it, but like I know the first game is like your ship is crashed or stranded and you got to go fix it, but it does have a story and there are like dangerous and scary things under the water. But I never fully played it.
Is it like Dredge? I really like Dredge.
I think Dredge was leaning more into the not how to put it. I think Subnautica at its core is a like crafting and like searching game. Like that's the main game,
Mm-hmm.
but it goes into more survival and horror elements.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's like 60-40 or 70-30 or something like that. Whereas like, I feel like Dredge is leaning more into the horror stuff or like the more of
Okay.
the supernatural stuff. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, maybe it'll be on my radar now. Honestly, I always thought it was just some silly um I wouldn't call it a survival game. I thought it was like one of those ones where you kind of just have to um collect resources. It was one of those, it's like Don't Starve. Like I don't care for those games at all. They're not scary,
No,
scary.
I
You
thought
know.
it was more of a not exactly like No Man's Sky, but we both played it where collecting resources and building bases and stuff like that. But it has a story goal, so you're not just doing random stuff. Like you're trying to fix your ship, you're trying to build a underwater base so that you can survive. And once you build it, you have to go deeper into the ocean to get more rare stuff, and so the story can progress as you're like trying to survive underwater.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, any thoughts on Subnautica, Jalen?
I mean, if I'm finna be under the water, that's good, bro. That was a serious part about playing scary games. I gotta go under the water, man. Who knows what's in there?
Okay. All right. Well, I
I
mean, that
remember I
makes
played
sense.
that on. Did you have to go under the water on The Last of Us?
Yes, just to get through
Hey,
that
I was in there like,
subway area.
hey, I was in there like, I'm like, something gave me, I'm finished. I can't fight under here, man. I'm like, man.
Yeah. Well, that is technically a survival horror, so you did play some type of survival horror, I suppose. Um, but yeah, that's a surprise. I didn't know that. Animal Well always looked good, still looks good. It's available now for Xbox players. Eden Zero. This is something that came out in left field. Who is Hiro Mashima? Do y'all know him? He's a manga guy.
I don't know, but I'm looking him up right now. Fairy Tail is the only stuff that I recognize. He's the Fairy Tail manga creator.
No wonder that guy looks like him, and the girl looks like the other person that I don't know their names to. Isn't his name Noctis or something? I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. I don't care for Fairy Tail. I don't like their art design.
Because not to. They look like One Piece.
No, it does not. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Not to look like Wolfie.
No, he does not.
All right.
It does kind of look inspired by One Piece, but it's not the same style. It's like I like One Piece, so I'm gonna make my characters in my own style.
Yeah, not to look like Wolfie.
No, he don't.
But like their head shape and the eyes and stuff like that, it definitely like this one girl on Eden Zero kind of looked like Nami with blonde hair. So yeah, I can see it.
Man, don't even put that depiction in my head. This
I already just said it, bro.
Garbage.
No, it's not even like a dig. Like I'm looking at the main character, this boy with the black hair. Like his smile is literally Luffy's smile, and most anime characters, the most anime characters have the same like face or like barely smile, but like his smile is the same shape as Luffy.
Bro, I literally thought
not
to drag whatever that show is. Fairy Tail was made by the people who made One Piece. I'm like, bro, why does it look like a pink-haired Luffy?
Yeah, man. Well, never translated for me. But yeah, good for them for making a game and seeing who would buy it, because the game looked bad and the art style looked bad to me. I'm not saying everybody has to feel that way, but everything about that game looked at subpar. But let's move on. Let's talk about the last thing that I was really it's just two things. I really liked the dog in The Legend of Babu. The dog was the winner for me in regards to just overall, because it looked scratchy. The gameplay looked scratchy, but the dog looked cute. So I was like, hey, if they can get this gameplay under control and this game is $10, I will absolutely pay for that just to play with the dog. But it's looks like it's a adventure game. Taking this kid through an adventure with his mystical dog, looks like, because they have some type of, it looked like there was some kind of deity or something godlike to me, at least based off of what they were showing in the trailer. But whatever the case may be, I think that they did an excellent job with the dogs, and everything else was okay. So if y'all have anything on Legend of Babu, speak now, forever hold your peace. Other than that, I'm going to continue to the last thing that was actually the best thing. So FBC, and I'm going to fight to get y'all to play this game with me, especially because it's on Game Pass. FBC Firebreak. So it's set in the world of Control. Basically, Alan Wake again coming to save the day because they definitely led with a banger, ended with a banger. FBC Firebreak is a 3-player cooperative shooter set in that Federal Bureau of Control, and you essentially are playing a survival game. It's kind of like Left 4 Dead, but it looks really, really polished. Looks really, really good. Looks like they have made first persons before when they haven't. Remedy is like, I think this is like this is their first game they ever made that was a first person shooter. So overall, they got wacky mechanics. They got really interesting guns. They have very paranormal like weapons and things like that. But overall, it just looks fun. Looks enjoyable. It's a 3-player game. Y'all, me, we're gonna play this game. Where regardless of what y'all say, y'all gonna at least try it, and we're gonna play this game.
You ain't playing no scary game, man.
Yeah, yes, you is. In 2025, you're gonna be playing FBC Firebreak.
My game pass gonna be expired.
I don't care. You're gonna re-up. Like I said, we're gonna play this game 2025. It's on PC and Xbox Series X. Obviously, there's gonna be a way for us to get that done. So, but yeah. This is probably the best looking thing that I've seen that came out of that partner preview. So definitely check it out if you can. I think that this is probably going to be a great opportunity. It's not going to be microtransaction heavy. It's not going to have any of that. It's not going to have anything where it's like wants you to come back multiple times. I think it's going to have microtransactions, but I don't think it's going to be one of those games where they want you to continuously come back and play and play and play. I think it's going to be one of those games that trying to play a homage to Left 4 Dead and those types of games that really came before and show people what fun is, and then they took it and tried to monetize it. So hopefully we have an experience that we can go to that is kind of like Back 4 Blood that we tried to get with Back 4 Blood. It wasn't Back 4 Blood because that wasn't the game we should have been playing. And I'm hoping that Firebreak is that game. So check it out when you can. Anything on Firebreak?
I didn't even know this was announced, but yeah, like you said, it literally takes place in the Federal Bureau of Control, and I liked Control. It was very fun. I liked their gunplay and their abilities. It seems like they've just taken that and put it into a first-person co-op game. So I'm willing to try it out. We just gotta get Jalen in.
Yeah. Ain't gonna be hard. Like I said, I'm strong arming that dude. He definitely playing.
Bro, I'm not playing no scary.
He ain't got no choice.
Control.
He ain't got no choice.
A horror game.
He ain't got no choice. He ain't got no choice.
It's in the Alan Wake universe, ain't it?
It's not in the it's in the universe, but that don't mean nothing. Like I said, because you're gonna be playing that game. Anyways,
If I see one paranormal activity, that game getting cut off. Extreme prejudice.
Oh my god, you play Left 4 Dead and 2.
That's not a horror game.
This not a horror game. This is a cooperative shooter. Same thing. You mean having things in it? Like you can't say a zombie is a horror game. It's because it got zombies in it when it's a horror game. That's different. So, anyways,
Left 4 Dead was a comedy game, so it's different.
Oh my god, here we go. Let me look up that game real quick. Let me see. Left 4 Dead 2. Does it say comedy game? Oh boy, I don't think that's even a genre. Left 4 Dead 2.
So Left 4 Dead 1 definitely was a horror game, but it got old because you're playing with 4 people and you're playing co-op, so it's not that scary.
Yeah, survival horror. Anyways, it ain't scary. He know it ain't. He just trying to mess around, but it's cool because he's still gonna be playing. But let's move forward with our next topic, and gotta make sure I'm thinking of the right thing here. Let's talk about sound design in gaming, since we on scariness anyway. For me, it's a very key and important part of any game, but I don't care for music. It's weird. I care for the sound that it comes out of the world, but it's not the music. That was always big for you guys, and I guess I wanted to say how much emphasis. Um, let's do it two different ways. I know y'all put a lot of emphasis on sound of on actual music, but do y'all put a lot of emphasis on sound design overall? Like, like when
With
you have
sound effects.
no, like yeah, when you have the caliber of a God of War Ragnarok's and the sound design of it versus a Callisto Protocol or something like that, or a the sound design in a racing game versus the sound design in Need for Speed Unbound. Like if you're going from Motorsport to Unbound, like does the sound design really truly help bring the game to life for y'all? And how do you normally experience sound in your setup?
Yeah, so I'll start. I always play games with headphones, like even like a long time ago, even before like I feel like I had good headphones or good speakers. It's just I prefer to hear it up close, partly because I do like the music, but for a lot of games, I guess it depends. Like like for example, I love Dead Space, but I have no idea what Dead Space music sounds like because it's just horror music and it's just meant to sound creepy, like somebody playing a piano or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So some games they just use the music as like to fit
The
the
mood.
mood or the combat, yeah. But as far as like other games like Final Fantasy and stuff, part of the reason I like those or like Persona or stuff like that so much is because of the music. I feel like music is like half the experience because if you think about it, like PS2 or even PS1 era, games didn't have voices. They had sound effects kind of. Um, so it was just all you had was like the gameplay and the music, and so a lot of those old franchises got such an uplift for people to love them so much because the music is it stands out. It's like unique, like just very strong. It's like all I remember from that game is the soundtrack or something like that. But it for me it flip flops because like again, I think the best example of sound that I like in video games would have to be like Hellblade or Resident Evil 2 remake because like Resident Evil 2 remake was the first game I played I think with binaural audio, which if you got on headphones it makes it sound like the audio is coming from different directions, like directly behind you or in front of you, or somebody starts on the right side and they move to the left. So that was the first example of that, and the audio alone was scary. It wasn't even the game because I remember I was standing in the gas station in the beginning, and it's the tutorial. It's only one zombie in the gas station, but like the audio of being able to hear literally everything around you, like you're in the room, was a new experience that elevated the game to a higher level for me,
Mm-hmm.
and actually made it more scary versus also with like Hellblade, where the whole point of that game is binaural audio and you have 4 or 5 6 different voices talking to you at the same time from different directions, and so it really immerses you in that space. So I would say that, but unfortunately I would say that outside of those two examples, I don't think the sound space or sound design for most games stand out that much because I guess I point out those two examples because it's more of a solo, like your characters in a claustrophobic environment, and so it makes the sound stand out more because it's meant to make you feel claustrophobic. Whereas like
Right.
when I play like God of War or even like Spider-Man, I personally don't care because I don't need to hear the full New York City background. It's just noisy. I know it's noisy and it's gonna sound crisp and high quality, but it's noisy and I kind of don't want to hear that too much. Same thing with
Yeah.
God of War. It's good because you can hear like the high quality voice acting and stuff like that. But again, I don't really need to hear the axe or the hammer or whatever hitting somebody's shield or the combat sound effects as much. So I would say for me, music is overall in most games is still more important, whereas the music sounds good versus the sound effects or sound quality. That being said, I kind of expect, especially for horror games, they need to have very good sound design. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Okay. Cool. What about you, Jalen? I don't want to. If you had a thought around it.
Uh, I ain't really had that much of like experience like playing like different games as far as like how the sound and like the sound profiles and stuff. Most of the stuff I've played is just like the music and stuff. I can understand how I could build the ambiance, improve like the horror aspect of the game. But I mean, naturally, I'm going to have to say like, I care more about the music and stuff because I feel like that alone could make the game more immersive. Um, Especially when it's just like, when the tone is just right, like when it's actually like matching up, when you like whether you walking or like battling or something like that. I feel like those games like or that type of sound, I guess like the music is something that's a little bit more important to me. So
Okay. Um, I bring this up because I've been thinking to myself around like creating. Uh, I'm not thinking anymore. I bought a surround sound system, and I was thinking about like, okay, I've experienced surround sound in headphones. I've experienced it at my dad's house. I've experienced it when I played video games prior, when I was like not really thinking about like, oh, this is really cool that they have like this really cool soundscaping going on and like 3D audio. Like that was some of those things that you kind of gravitate to as you start playing games, like some of those technologies. Like that was something that was really cool to me. I felt like spatial audio was really cool in a way that I thought, a lot of people weren't taking advantage of or whatever. And when I bought the headphones and bought all the right equipment, I felt like it was a really cool, immersive experience that felt better than anything. And then, obviously most people say, utilize headphones when you're experiencing those or, because you're basically trying to simulate surround sound. And I was thinking to myself, like, okay, do I prefer sound coming through headphones close to my ear and having that experience enclosed to myself, or would I like that experience to more fill up a room? And I kind of kept going back to, okay, this is something that everybody can use versus just me. This is something that I tend to gravitate to when I'm watching movies. I like having large bass. Like I have a smaller mini surround sound system upstairs where it's just literally a sound bar and a what do they call those things? The bass speaker that sits in the back of the room that kind of helps with vibrations. I would call it, because it's not like the full-fledged experience of surround sound that you're going to get from a Polk Mini, but it is something that elevates sound for me. And I was just thinking like, okay, do I like the music? Do I like the soundscape? Do I like the highs and lows being able to be played with? And it really only matters to me in horror games. Like it's horror games, and then there's like really action-packed games, like games where you have a lot going on. Like I would want my surround sound playing when playing like Indiana Jones when it comes out, like in December. So those games that have large soundscapes that may transform you a little bit better. And I was thinking, like, is there a correlation to lack of um I was thinking to myself, like, is there just a lack of, caring for the sound in general in most people that does not really cause them to want to seek out, like, to try to have that better or elevate that experience, or is it really just not that big of a deal? Because to me, obviously it's not that big of a deal. I've been using headphones all my life. I don't need to go get a surround sound system. I now have the means to do so, so I'm going to do it. But I just don't feel like sound design has been a key factor ever in gaming until like recently when I can't really have headphones on around my kids because they do too much. If I'm going to be having an experience, I might as well have the experience where I can't do that alone because my wife might call me. I don't want to do. It's kind of like one of those things where yeah, there's necessary features like Bluetooth coming straight to my headphones in order for me to have like actual experience of just zoning out and listening to something. But I kind of want to take advantage of that experience. I want that experience now than more than ever than I used to. I didn't really care to, have that type of experience all the time. I thought it was okay to just let it come out the TV and just listen. But now I feel like, okay, if I'm going to be playing something that is high budget, high premium, and not just necessarily Persona, then I would like that experience to the match what I'm doing, what my setup is. And that's where I kind of started playing with the sound. And I was thinking like, do does it really matter? Because obviously we all getting the same experience. I think it's just that extra level of attention to sound is not appreciated a lot in gaming today. I think that like that category even when you win game awards for sound design, I just feel like at sometimes people don't even understand what they're grading. They just think, oh, he had good voice acting, so he had great sound design. And I don't even think that's what the case may be. So it's kind of like one of those things where as I elevate as a gamer, I guess I can start to appreciate what a true full-fledged out sound design is and what it truly means. And when I think about it, I was just thinking, is it correlated to just a lack of interest, or is it a lack of just wanting to go above and beyond to experience it in a way that they probably be the best fit? It's kind of similar to like a movie set. Like if you're going to the movie theater, you're going to have the best experience watching that movie versus an in-home theater. Well, you could have a good, amazing in-home theater, but it's like as you kind of start to look at those things, does um does it actually change much? I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. Am I wasting my money? But I guess there is like to me, when I think about sound design, I do want to appreciate it more, and I feel like I don't appreciate it a lot today due to the fact that how I experience gaming most of the time. Like even with the voice acting, and I'm just I'm pushing up the volume on my Steam Deck, or I'm pushing up the volume on my TV. It's rattly. It's not really like the best sound quality. It's not coming off with enough bass. It's not truly providing the experience that they may want me to have. And I think that is a problem in my eyes. It never. It's like a third world problem. It's not something that's big of a deal, but I feel like that is one of those things where it's kind of underappreciated. It's kind of like the same thing with a television. Nobody really cares because they can get by with what they have, and they don't really care to kind of provide or to add to that experience or to get to new technology because it's like I'm good, bro. I don't really need the latest and greatest on that thing. But I think that it was just a step further for me with sound because genuinely, um, I liked the good headphones, but I just didn't care that what that sounded like. And I think it's kind of happening in the same thing with TVs now, where
Mhm.
I'm listening for stuff, and if I can't hear it, it annoys me, or if I can't if it doesn't make sense as to where the caliber of the game versus where my sound platform is, it kind of now has to match. So I was thinking like just kind of asking y'all like, do y'all even remember experiences where the sound um really mattered to the point where it made you want to plug in some headphones? It made you want to like change your setup essentially because
Yeah. Uh, for me, like we used to play Destiny all the time, and I just let this music come out of the speakers or whatever because we was on in the party chat and stuff like that, and
right.
and game sound never sounded good in party chat. But ever since we switched to Discord, like I have my audio, I try to have it running separately, so that I'm not, I have no interference with like voices when we're on calls like that when I'm playing the game, because I do want to hear the game. But
Right.
I guess for me, it really just depends, because TV speakers are like the worst way to listen to sound, especially like for movies or stuff like that. So the
Hmm.
best way to improve that is to get a um, surround sound, or a audio bar or whatever, set it up under your TV, because then it's going to give you good audio for movies and TV shows. But I
Hmm.
feel like for video games, I don't want surround sound for me personally, because like I think of when I'm playing Call of Duty, because I swear to God, whenever I play Call of Duty, I turn the sound as low as possible, because that game is so loud, and it happens
That
so
is true.
often that I don't want to hear it, and it becomes annoying for those certain games. So I think it's gonna vary. So that's why I never gravitated towards that, because I don't want the super loud sounds. Like I can just imagine playing God of War, and he beating somebody face in and it's super loud. I was like, yeah, it sounds loud and accurate, and it sounds annoying because I want to turn it down. Versus
Mm.
headphones, it gives you that same thing, and still I might have to turn it down because the sound space
Got a
is too
little,
loud
yeah,
and
got a little
aggressive.
too high. Yeah.
But at the same time, I can appreciate more the smaller things, like like when I'm playing Cyberpunk and people are talking, but also the background characters. Like I like being able to hear the background character closer to my head, like speaking. They're just having like side conversations. I feel like I
Right.
appreciated that more versus when it's just coming out of my speakers and it just feels like background. So
Mm.
I would say it might change from genre to genre, but for me personally, I just prefer headphones overall. I feel like that gives me um, more of what I'm looking for. And plus, I always use um, noise canceling headphones, anyways. Like even when I'm playing games.
Mm. Now, I know Jalen, you're a big partaker in the let your TV come through the speakers or your microphone. So, um, what is your preferred experience most of the time?
Jalen, he a wild one. He like Xbox Live game chat coming through the speakers.
That man be tripping, don't he? I said, man, turn on your game. Like, man, what you talking about? Man, he don't care about
Have
none of
homies
that.
coming through the speaker.
He don't care about none of that. Said, man, I'm just trying to play the game, man. I ain't think about
Yeah, I
Nah.
mean, that sums it up. I mean, I just be trying to play the game, bro.
You ain't gonna defend yourself. All right, yeah, okay. He
I'm
said,
the
yeah.
most y'all more advanced than me when it comes to this game and stuff, bro. I just play the game for what it is. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tried doing headphones and stuff, but I don't like wearing headphones. Um, like over the
Can I
ear
ask a
headphones.
question? Do you feel
Yeah.
like it's because you don't like well, I guess they all got to be over the head, but do you feel like it's because you don't like the headphones, or you don't feel like it makes a big enough difference, like maybe the quality of the headphones is not good enough to warrant the trouble to like have it set up?
I mean, it just be a lot. So if I'm being honest with you, like I'm bare bones gamer. You know, that goes I bare bones gamer. Um, I don't like putting over ear headphones on. They sweat and stuff like they, you know what I'm saying, be oils and like my hair naturally oil. I don't like that feeling when I take it off if I need to wipe my ears and stuff. So even when I talk to you on Discord and stuff, I always got earbuds in because I refuse to use over the ear headphones. I used to for a little bit of time, but they be sliding out. Or sliding off because I had bought them like Hyper Clouds like some years back or whatever. Or HyperX Cloud or whatever. The other thing is when I got the audio, or let me just go back. So as far as the other aspect of wearing the headphones, I can't hear other stuff that's going on outside. So somebody knock on my door for my phone ring. Other things I can't pay attention to that. So I don't like that aspect. I feel like I'm debilitated. So oftentimes I used to put one of my headsets on or put my headphones on and I put the other one behind my ear,
Hmm.
but it got annoying with the way it sit. it'd be touching my hair more, so it get more and more oily and stuff. Because like my hair be like kind of like oily there. And then the other aspect is when I'm talking to people on the headset, and then I'm hearing the game, it's just too much noise and it's kind of chaotic.
Hmm.
So it kind of get a little overwhelming. So when people in the party chat talking and I'm playing a game and the game just coming through the headphones, it's like, all right, it's overwhelming because I'm hearing Call of Duty, I'm hearing footsteps, I'm hearing people talking in the chat and stuff like that. So it's just like I can't really differentiate the two. And the last piece of it is when I'm actually not playing the game, or if I'm playing a game but I step away or something. Um, when I step away from the game, I can't hear anything that's going on. So if they like, you know, you finna ready up the game, finna start all that type of stuff, I have no sort of awareness what's going on unless I'm actually visually looking at the game. So all of those things used to kind of like bother me. And I mean, it could be like tick for tack. I've been doing this for so long and I'm probably stuck in my ways. But when I did used to wear the headphones and I tried putting them through, I never really liked it. And I don't like carrying like headphones and stuff like that. I don't like using Bluetooth headphones that frequently. Because I'd get tired of them like dying and then I need to charge something else separately. Um, so I just had like a number of reasons. It's not gonna change that much of the gameplay for me. I can hear the music good enough and but I understand like sound bars and surround sound and all that type of stuff. Y'all experts at it, y'all probably got better hearing and all that type of stuff than me. So yeah.
Well, I guess it's not really like experts. It's just more so like I guess it's that conversation around necessary versus the actual experience and you're going to get like the ground level of gaming is simply get a HD TV, get you a TV with an HDMI port, get you a system, and plug it up and play. Like that is the bare bones. That's what you can do to experience gaming. You don't really need the rest of it. I guess it's more so elevating your experience in the way that you want it to be elevated, and providing some form of respect. I would call it. I hate it, and everybody knows I hate it. And if it happens, I'm gonna say something. It's just more so bad mics and having background audio that is like aggressively coming through the system. Like I can hear your background audio when you're not talking, and that's what annoys me. It's fine when you're talking, you're actively having a conversation, background noise happens, we get it. But if it's sitting there and nobody's literally talking and I can hear everything that's going on in your apartment or your game, and that tells me you ain't got no respect for my ears, and I don't want to hear that. So it's kind of like it's not about what can and cannot be done. It's just more so about respecting that like party chat rules, and then what your game experience want to be. No, nobody.
So
Everything else is fluff. To me.
I think that even now there is no good way to have voice like party chat and the game audio. Like they're not built to be compatible and they're always going to conflict. And so unless you want to have a PC and you're running things through different channels or you're tweaking them individually, like unfortunately it's not going to sound good. So like if I'm playing a story focused game, like I really want to focus on God of War right now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not going to get in party chat so I can play the game so I can actually hear it. But if you're playing a game where you got to do both, it's not going to sound good. And that's just the fact of it.
It was a
Plus
byproduct of
all the other
Jalen
factors.
in regards to why I switched to Discord and why I ran through my Xbox and my PlayStation through my computer is literally for this reason. Like I don't that it's my responsibility to kind of have the experience I want. So if I have to do additional things to kind of have the experience I want and it bothers me that much, then I'm gonna go ahead and do it. That was like it wasn't a key reason because I remember I was setting it up to kind of record things, but that was a big thing where I was like, I can't talk to Jalen unless I'm on my phone. And I don't want to be on my phone and talk to Jalen because he don't want to put on a headset. So I need to figure out a way to get to be able to talk to him, still have my gaming audio come through, and that was I think that was during what Destiny, I think the Intel of Destiny we was playing it. Is when that happened, when Jalen was like, I'm not finna put on his and it was like his AirPods, and it was like literally a lot of noise coming through that party chat, a lot. And it was just like, okay, well, I got to figure out something else. And it wasn't like it was just that, but it was a component.
What chat was he using?
He was using PlayStations.
We use a PlayStation chat?
Yeah.
You sure? Because I never use my PlayStation chat with my headphones.
You 100% use your PlayStation chat with your you used to go
You might
on
have
your
tried
phone.
it and did
You
maybe it's
used
off
to
the
go on
mobile
your
app.
phone and do
Oh
it.
yeah.
Okay.
You used to
The
go on
mobile
your
app.
phone and do the mobile app, and that was how you did it when you first was getting tired of your headset. And
Yeah,
then
because they was glitching. Y'all was complaining about my headsets on there too.
I'm not saying that we weren't. I'm saying that I was talking about. I'm not even trying to put it on you or me. I'm just trying to tell you about what you do to go through to get the experience that you want. And that, as Josh was stating, swapping channels with those video mixers was a key thing for me. I still have my stuff run through my PlayStation and my PS5 run through my computer system audio wise, just so I can do that in case that ever happens again when I'm playing with Sean or somebody like that. Like there's some times where I'm just like, I don't really want to hear. I could turn you down a lot and still have my other thing and still be able to hear you decently. So that is one of those things where Josh was just talking about, where you go through a process to kind of get the experience that you want, and that's understandable. You don't have to put that much tack on. You don't have to care that much, but I do, because audio has always been one of those pet peeves of mine, where it's like I need to have good audio so I can hear what's going on in the background, especially with shooters. But now that I'm coming out of that, always being in a party chat, always talking to people, and always readying up, and now I'm just listening to my experience. Now it's time to change how I listen to the audio versus headsets. So it's just a different thing. That's it.
Hey, I love when people be on the headsets and they be listening to music, and then they might be cutting in and out, and it only like when they be talking, they be like fragmented because it ain't picking up the voices, and they be picking up
Oh,
wrong
you got
stuff.
music in the background. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they like I talked to one of my I be talking to Los, and sometimes he be talking and it just be cutting. I'm like, bro, how come you keep stopping when you talking, but clearly the mic ain't picking up when he talking and stuff. I'm like, bro, you gotta hold that mic up closer to your face. I mean, but
yeah.
And to be fair, like Deontay was saying, I think a lot of people just don't think about audio that deeply. Like, if I can hear the game, then that's enough. Because we all, like you said, we all got friends who they bumping their speakers in the background. It's 4 people in the house, and they trying to be on voice chat, having a conversation with you. It's like, I can't hear nothing you saying. But it's been like this for 6 years, and it ain't never gonna change.
Nope, it ain't never gonna change.
I remember I was playing Warzone with Trell, bro, and then so I think the way he had to set up his TV is next to like the living room or something, and his mom was watching a movie, and then I'm just looking like, hey man, like, can you turn that stuff down some, bro? Like, I'm fine with hearing certain background noises, like obviously all that stuff can't be prevented. I ain't expecting everybody to have like the best mic, but when it's just loud and distracting, I'm like, bro, I just want to mute you because I'm not hearing anything. And I'm over here listening to the movie. I'm looking like, dang, bro. I'm like, dang, Trail. So did bro get killed? I heard him screaming and he was running like, I can tell you the whole movie without even seeing it because that mug playing through the speaker so loudly. And he tried to snap back. Was like, dang, bro, you listening hard as hell, ain't you? Really? Like, no, we can hear the whole music, like the whole movie. Bro, shut your mic off and move around. I'm like, nobody listening hard, bro. I can literally hear the whole movie, bro. I could tell you that everything about that movie is SparkNote's version of it, and I ain't even watched it. I just heard it through your mic.
Yeah. So, no, like I said, it's just definitely different different levels of care for that audio that I think that I thought it would be a cool topic to talk about because it is something that is important and it should be talked about more, but it's like one of those things as technology keeps coming out, noise cancellation stuff helps with like mic mutes and filtering through sounds and all that stuff. I think there's a lot of those things, and that's when I was talking about that new Xbox headset where they're going to have active muting, so you can auto mute in case there's something, and then they have like a better noise cancellation, so you can kind of still have a clear audio come through. So it's just one of those things where I know as time progresses, I was like, should I buy this headset or should I continue to utilize the stuff that I kind of already have to kind of keep talking through audio. And like, I love this HyperX headset. I love that how long it lasts. That it's only proprietary connection, so it doesn't have any like sound leaks or weird things that happen. I don't use it for my mic, so I don't really know about the mic quality. So it's always one of those things where I appreciate good audio, and I think that as I continue to go on that audio journey, I think that there's a level of progression that comes along with it, but it's not for everyone. Everybody doesn't care for this stuff. Everybody doesn't care about how that stuff sounds or what your makeup is of how you got your stuff set up. It's really just adapting to everyone. So leveling a lot of that stuff is it's been interesting for sure. Interesting.
Yeah, y'all heard it first. I had to learn how to be more respectful and not have other stuff playing in the background because of Deontay. But hey, man, I'm like, bro, why did you listen to that hard? Like,
not listening to that hard. Like I said, there's plenty of stuff that is not that is you've gotten. It didn't even take you that long. Like it wasn't. You had a headset and you were fine. It was kind of like just spaces that you play games in. It's never your setup. It's the space that you playing games in. Like that is if that changes the audio that's coming through. It never was changed by your headset being raggedy because you thought it was your headset being raggedy. I'm like, no, it's not your headset. It's places that you're playing the game now. That's literally the change. The change is when you had going through different parts of you, which is crazy. We've been freaking friends and playing games for that long, but it's been like changes in the life and where your setup is how your audio changed. It wasn't about your headset.
Except when I had them Tritons, but I was like, man, I just got some Tritons for $20.
Nah, that
so no, like Atheon snatching me up. Like, man, I got some Tritons.
Like when you went and go bought that headset, I said some Tritons. I never heard that one. He said, yeah, they got from GameStop. I'm like, oh, okay.
Some Tritons.
I was like, that boy's coming a little bit. He's like, man, are you serious? I'm like, yes. I remember you asked me. Garbage. They're garbage, bro. I said, don't Tritons. Yeah. But
I just needed a cheap headset because I literally bought them because it was only one ear, and I was like, all right, I can do one ear.
Yeah.
One ear headset that I can plug up to my thing, and I'm good. And I remember this dude told me about some Tritons in high school. I'm like, I'm finna get some Tritons. Just sorry, bro. I was like, I think I had them headsets for like 2 months, bro. I was like,
you know how Xbox Live Chat started, man. That was with the one-hander. That was how it always was. With the one ear muff and with the big boom mic. But that was it. You had to plug that bucket to your controller. That's how you had the party chat. So everybody got accustomed to letting their speakers blast, and then they just had their chat on the other side. I'm like, bro. Then when stuff started to get a little bit better, and you could run your chat with your gameplay, they never kind of caught up to kind of changing how that stuff worked. I think the PlayStation was the smarter one where they automatically stopped the sound coming through the TV when you plugged in the headset. They automatically did it. And then like that's crazy how I can remember when things got better for audio because that's how important it was to me. But that was the one time where and then they dummied up and did the whole stupid mic on your PS5 controller. and then it just got worse again. I was like, I don't really understand y'all. They just do stupid stuff, but that was killing batteries fast enough that people would turn it off. They just turn off their mic. So yeah. Anyways, overall, we spent way too much time on design and mics, but I think that was a fun topic for sure. There's plenty more to talk about, but I'm gonna leave it right there. Is there anything else that y'all want to talk about?
No, I feel like we covered a lot. Like I was saying before the podcast, there's a lot more stuff happening, especially like with Nintendo. But I feel like we can just wait until stuff is actually announced, because it's kind of like with so many rumors, it's going to be any day now that we start seeing new stuff from Nintendo.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's about it.
Talk about them trailers.
Yeah.
Tritons. No, I mean, I personally, I just got me some Sony noise canceling headphones that I use for everything, and I use them to play games. So I stopped buying the first party headsets.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, all right then. Well, I guess what we'll do is I appreciate you guys getting here. We'll probably try to push some of these topics to next week. But I appreciate you guys listening for this long. I want to thank you, as always, for tuning in. We'll have more topics, more things to discuss next week. So always stick around. You can always check us out on all of our podcast platforms, as well as my YouTube channel at BCD Universe. But as always, thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you all next week. Peace.